everyone, today we are diving into one of the most beloved classical novel of American literature, To Kill a Mockingbird. To Kill a Mockingbird was written by Harper Lee, which was published in the year 1960. It is one of the classical novel and it deals with racial injustice, moral growth, which was happened in a small town. Let us explore what makes this book so important and memorable. The Mockingbird is about a growing up. A main character is a girl named Scott Finch. Scott Finch is also a narrator of this novel. In the beginning of the novel, Scott's age will be 6, and at the end of the novel, her age will be 8. Scott, even as a child, she learns about the harsh realities of how people can treat each other unfairly. She sees how prejudice and discrimination affects people's life, which helps her to understand the world's complexity and the importance of empathy and fairness within 2 years. And this book took place between 1993 to 1995 in Macomb, Alabama. It is a sleepy town. Atticus Finch is a lawyer and father of Scott. Though he is a lawyer, he does not have much money because he usually works only to the poor client. Scott lives with her father and her older brother Jim, and also they has a cook named Kalpunya. She is a black woman. Scott lost her mother when she was 2 years old. Scott and Jim had a friend named Dill Harris who lives next to their door. Dill usually visits Macomb during every summer, and children enjoy spending time together during his visit. And Scott and Jim learns 4 important lessons from his novel, and also from his father, and also from their own experience. The first lesson is put yourself in another people's issue. This means Scott learns is that she can't truly understand someone until she sees things from their perspective. This means imagining yourself in another person's situation to grasp their feelings and experience. At the first, Scott struggles with these ideas, but as the story unfolds, she begins to understand its importance. Across the street from the Scott's house is the Radley's house, where Radley family lives. They were too isolated and rarely interact with others. Radley, the son Boo Radley, is a man in his 30s who has been not seen outside for many years. The children created a frightening stories about him, calling him as Boo Radley. As if he were a ghost, they imagine him to be a monster who eats rats and cats and even harm children. These rumors and misconceptions contributed the mysteries and carry a image to Boo Radley. In the first part of the book, Jim, Scott, and Dill play games involving the Radley's house. They dare each other to touch the house and run away quickly. One day, they find pennies and gummies hidden in a whole tree, which they later realize they are the gift from Boo Radley. It takes a while for them to understand this, but their curiosity is to see Boo, so they made many plans to make them come out from their house. One night, Scott, Jim, and Dill sneaked to the back of the Radley's house to look through a window. They were surprised when Nathan Radley, Boo's older brother, shouts at him. They were in confusion. Jim gets his pants stuck on a fence while escaping. The next day morning, Jim finds his pant fixed and left for him by Boo Radley. One cold night, Scott and Jim are outside watching a neighbor's house was burned. Boo Radley quietly wraps a blanket around Scott to keep her warm. But she does not notice it at first. When she realized Boo was behind her, she is scared. Over time, Scott and Jim gradually comes to understand that Boo is actually a kind, though it takes them a longer time than it might to see others. The second important lesson in the book is don't kill a mockingbird. This lesson has a literal and metaphorical meaning. Literally, Atticus tells Scott and Jim that they can shoot any birds with their air rifles except the mockingbird because mockingbird do not harm anyone's property. They simply make music. Metaphorically, mockingbird represents anyone who is in danger or defenseless. To kill a mockingbird means to take advantage or harm someone who is weaker or unable to defend themselves. And the third lesson in the book is to keep trying even if you might lose. In the second part of the book, Tom Robinson, a black man, is arrested and charged with raping a white woman, Myla Ewell. Atticus Finch is appointed to Tom's defense attorney is committed to doing a best job despite knowing that he is likely to lose the case due to the racial prejudice. Everyone in the town has some degree of racism, and Scott and Jim are teased and talked about because their father Atticus is defining a black man accused of to a crime. Atticus advised them not to fight like other kids. Instead, he encouraged them to stay calm and hold their heads high in the face of adversity. He wants to teach them that true bravery is continuing to fight and pursue even when success seems unlikely. The physical evidence against Tom Robinson includes the fact that Mala Ewell had a wound in her right side of her face, while Tom cannot use his left arm, suggesting that he could not have implicated the injury. Additionally, Myla's father is a Bob Ewell. He is left-handed and could have caused this injury. Tom provides convincing account that Myla Ewell tried to seduce him and Boo caught him. He beat her and then falsely accused Tom of rape. Despite Atticus' strong defense, the jury convicts Tom because a white jury is unlikely accused a black man accused of raping a white woman. The fourth lesson they learned is the world is unfair. The children crushed Tom convention as Atticus knew all along they would be in one dramatic moment. The children also learn about the evil side of whole community and the fact that even the justice system is trained by unfairness. Bob Ewell carries a grudge against Atticus for making a fool him, and he also threatens to get revenge on him. One day, on the time of Halloween, Scott and Jim are coming to their home in the dark street. He tries to kill them, and also he breaks Jim's arm by twisting him. Boo hears the cries and comes out from this home and kills Bob Ewell with his kitchen knife. Jim and Scott does not understand what is happening to them because it is a dark night. Now, Sheriff and Atticus discussed what to do about Bob Ewell's death. Atticus wants to say that Jim kills him for her self-defense so he can clear his name and publicity, and also there won't be any rumors that they covered it up. Sheriff has no way and he says that it is impossible that Jim has done. So, Sheriff insists a story that Bob Ewell tripped on a root and fallen on his own knife. The reason Sheriff fits to the story because he knows that Boo rarely has killed him, and even though he does not think that it is a crime, he thinks that town people would treat him like a hero and leave a cake on his porch. Since he had saved a life of his children, let's reward him to keep him in his privacy. Atticus afraid to do this because his children just lived through a miscarriage of justice in a trial, and if they see Atticus is bending the law because of his association with Sheriff, he fears they won't ever respect him again. But on that time, Scout tells Atticus that she understands making a hero out of Boo would be like killing a mockingbird. This is a climatic moment in this book. It means that Scott has observed a lesson about Mockingbird. Despite having seen the unfairness of life, she sees the value as well as Boo Radley is actually very childish like himself, and there is a scene where he takes Scott to walk him across the street. He asks Scott to leave him in his own house because he is too afraid after she does. She looks out from the Radley's porch and sees all of her own activities over the past couple of years as seen through Radley's eyes. That's where she finally grasped the first lesson about understanding people by putting yourself in their own shoe.